The Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hi everyone, welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living. You are with Simone Milasas, surprise, surprise, your host. And today I have the wonderful, amazing, phenomenal Marnie Barranco. Welcome, Marnie.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. Now, I actually consider myself extremely lucky to get to work with you each day. Marnie is, my assistant, which I don't even know what the hell that means, and I don't think she knows what that means either. Someone I can go, Marnie! But what's ended up happening is she takes on a lot of different projects, within Access Consciousness, Joy Business, and everything that I have to deal with. And she's sort of got her fingers in all the different pies, but not necessarily having to be heavily involved in all of them and yet quite heavily involved in some of them. And one of the things that we were talking about the other day, and, one of the magic tools that's been coming up in Access Consciousness is talking about reference points and objectives. And it's interesting because even if I say to you, what is, Marnie with being my assistant? It's like if you create that as a reference point of what that has to be like, then you will limit what can show up. I mean, me being worldwide coordinator of Access, the common thing that I've found myself saying over the years is, I'm worldwide coordinator of Access, whatever the hell that means. Because it's like, it really is just like having the awareness of the entirety of the business. And then I have a willingness to do and be and have and create and generate whatever is required to keep this, moving forward. So what we wanted to sort of extrapolate here with you guys today is talking about all the places in your business and with money that you create these reference points, a way something has to look like, the way it has to be. And you have, these objectives of what you're supposed to be creating, rather than actually, using the Access Consciousness tools, being in question and willing to create something beyond this reality. So that's what we want to play with today. As I said, we work in all these different projects. And, you were having a meeting this morning with Sarah, another person that we work with. And tell me a little bit about what you were saying about how, what we were setting up.
Yeah, so we were just looking at all of the things, like Simone was saying, all of the things that we're creating and the spaces that we're playing in, and realizing that there's this level of growth and expanding that's occurring and things are moving really, really fast. And for us to be able to actually do that and do it with ease requires a level of organization that we haven't yet functioned in. So we were looking at how do we, without going to structure and order and trying to control everything, how do we actually put the systems in place to provide the organization where we can grow and expand? And it's not this like, we're growing too fast. It's actually, yay, we're growing too fast because we have the system that supports it. I love what you were saying with reference points, because if you're functioning from a reference point about how big is too big, how many projects is too many projects, or how fast is too fast, then you're going to limit and slow down what's actually being created. And so even though there gets to be sort of this, I want to say it feels like a little bit of maybe tension, for lack of a better word, like this, okay, it's getting bigger. This is going beyond where I've been currently functioning from. When you get to that place, you can either go to the reference point, which causes you to shrink it and try to control it and make it small again, or you can ask questions and go, okay, this is where we're going. This is what we're creating. What's it going to take? What systems are required? What choices can we make so that this is fun, playful, and filled with ease?
I love that. And the thing is that I see so many people do is try and control it and try and create these reference points. It's interesting. I was talking to someone that we work with mutually the other day, and she asked me a question about sort of like having more. And I said, are you at the stage where you're about to say, I'm full, I can't take on anything else? Or are you at the stage where you have to ask questions and be a different energy? And she was like, shit, crap. Yes, yeah. And the one that goes, I'm full, I've got too much on, is the one that so many of us seem to lean towards because we know it. It's familiar. It has this solidity to it. It matches the energy of this reality going, don't forget, you've got to have holidays and you've got to have a break and you've got to have time off and all that sort of stuff, rather than the energy of like, okay, so have I reached this place where I need to be a different energy? What can I be today? And what questions can I ask? Which is creating a reality beyond this reality. And that's what I keep looking at with Joy Business is what's it going to take to create your business and your money flows beyond this reality?
Yeah. And for me, it's been asking the question of like, what is I want to say the greatness that I can choose now that's actually required for me to choose now to go beyond whatever I've decided is too much or my stopping point. So hitting that spot of, okay, I don't think I can take anymore. And then going, is that actually true? Or is that the lie? Is that the reference point? Is that the thing I used to stop me? And when I ask that, I totally get, oh, that's the lie. So then what
Yeah.
can I choose and what level of greatness can I actually step into that's available to me right now to go way beyond all of this? And my son loves to watch Flash. And, there was a scene, he had the TV on today, and there's a scene where Flash is in the house and he's literally like cleaning the house and making breakfast and watching, TV at 1,000 times faster than it goes.
Like,
and
I feel like Flash.
and I did. I was like, I'll have some more of that because there's actually a joy and aliveness with going faster than everyone else says I should be able to go. So
Yeah.
I got to, what if I just kept asking for more instead of trying to shrink it down to a controllable, manageable size? What if I just asked for more?
So everything that is and everywhere that any of you out there listening are going, I'll have some of that, and yet you have no idea how to create that. Well, you destroy and uncreate everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the energy that Marnie is talking about. Everything that is times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And I want to just sort of make a few comments on that too. It's like when you do have that place of going, oh, wow, there's a lot occurring, there's a lot happening. I see so many people then start to go into avoidance. And it's like, what if it's not about avoidance? But what if it is about that taking a moment for you? Like whether it's, you pour a nice glass of wine and sit there and go, okay, got a nice glass of wine, I'm relaxing because it sometimes helps your body relax. Or it's like, or you go for a swim, or, you're in Denver at the moment, it's snowing. You go out and build a snowman. But do something that is for you. Or sledding. Yeah, do something that is for you that sort of rejuvenates you, but you're not doing it to avoid. Like I remember at one stage in my life, years and years ago, I used to always, when I wanted to shut off and avoid anything, I'd take myself to the movies. And I realized every time I went to the movies, I wasn't doing it for the joy of seeing a movie. I was doing it to avoid something. And I went, oh, okay, so what if I could go to the movies by choice, but not to avoid something? So what are you choosing to avoid something rather than actually choosing to allow yourself that momentary ease and nurturing and caring of yourself with no judgment, that you know what to choose next? And everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Yes. All right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds.
I love that. The other day I had been online for quite a few hours and it was about 5:00 and I had this, okay, I'm fried, and I was fried, but I got up to sort of do the, I'm done. It's been a long time. I'm done for the day. Sort of the reference point. It's 5:00 somewhere, time to shut it off, time to be done. And I stopped and I went, wait a minute, am I done? Time to shut off? Or is it just, I require something for right now? I require to do something else. And so without concluding what would be, whether I would come back to it or whether I was done for the day, I was like, oh yeah, right now I require something else. So I went for a walk, and literally within 30 minutes, I was so rejuvenated. I was like, let's go. I'm ready round two. Let's do this. But I have functioned from places of, okay, that's long. That's been long enough. It's 5:00, time to pour a glass of wine and shut off, avoid, rather than drink a glass of wine because I'm choosing it, go for a walk because I'm choosing it. And now what would I like to choose? And it's a total different space of being present and in question or tuning out.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been talking about is the reference points. And what reference points is basically how you keep judgment in place and you keep your objectives in place. So if you have that place of going, oh, I've, 8 hours a day, might be a reference point you have is enough for work, okay? And it's like, is enough to create. So then you must have a reference point of switching off. Like Marnie said, you go, okay, that's it, done, computer closed, blah, blah, blah. Whereas if that occurs, like you can go, okay, it's 5:00. I may actually, call it quits for tonight, but I may not. If something shows up, I'll create with it. But if you go, no, that's it, reference point, bam, 5:00, done. It's like then you actually don't allow yourself this sense of creation, this sense of true source of creation that you can have, because you have that available to you 24/7. It's like, your awareness and your ability to create doesn't work 9 to 5. It doesn't work just Monday to Friday. You might be one of those people that's in the shower and you come up with a zillion ideas, or you go for a walk, or you go for a swim or something like that. And it's like, you're like, oh yeah. And it's like, you've got all these juices flowing. So what if you had no reference points for how you create? And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all named shorts, boys and beyonds. I actually have a great process here. It's from the Out of Control call that myself and Brendan did. And we actually just finished it today. And you can actually get that Out of Control call if you're interested on, I think, both of our websites, SimoneMilasas.com and BrendanWatt.com. And this is one of the processes that we ran is, what objectives, actually I'm going to change it, what reference points and objectives of never being judged have you made so vital, valuable, and real to you that every reference point you have in life is about the necessity of being in control and never having the choice to be out of control? And everything at that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all named shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, one more time. What objectives of never being judged have you made so vital, valuable, and real to you that every reference point you have in life is about the necessity of being in control and never having the choice to be out of control? And everything at that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all named shorts, boys and beyonds. Because how many of the objectives of this reality are you using to determine the limitations that you're choosing? Like, how many times do you go to a reference point and objective, and what ends up occurring is you create a limitation and answer a conclusion rather than actually being in question? Like Marnie said, going, okay, so this morning, she meets with someone, a colleague that we work with, and they're like, okay, we're growing. Instead of freaking out, instead of going to, we don't have, the infrastructure or the systems in place, what systems do we need to choose, and what systems, can we put into place that matches the energy of the growth that is occurring? It's like, see, it's all question. There's no place there that's a conclusion. It's that question of what is actually going to work best here, what's going to create a greater possibility.
And there's also the place of being willing to receive information and awareness that you've not yet had. And what I mean by that is, when we were having the conversation about creating the system and the organization, what I got is I literally don't have any place from which to create that from. So every reference point that I ever had, or objective, or anywhere that my brain or quote intelligence could go to, took me to this particular place. But what we're creating is beyond that. So if we're actually going to create what's required, it actually requires going beyond what I currently think I know to awareness that I haven't yet been open to, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes so much sense, and it makes me so excited. One of the people that we work with, Emily, it's like, when you can't see me because this is a podcast, but it's like, she does, like, we call it the seal clap. And when we're on a Zoom together and we're creating, and it's like, when she starts to seal clap, you go, oh yes, we know that this is good. It's like, the energy of it is like, yes, this is going to be something great. And as you just spoke, Marnie, I was like, oh yeah, seal clap. And it's like, because you know what? You've got to go beyond where you currently are. Or what the hell are you going to create? The same as what you created before.
Yeah.
There's other possibilities available.
Yeah. And we were at a 7-day class with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness. And he said this brilliant thing. He's always saying brilliant things. But he said all of the possibilities that are available in this reality have already been used up. And when he said it, my whole world just went whoosh, like opened up, and I went, oh my gosh. So to actually continue to create demands and requires that I go beyond this reality to a reality beyond this reality to continue to create, which opened up a whole, like a whole wow in my universe.
Now, when we're talking about this reality too, what we're talking about is, the rules and regulations of this reality, the place where everything is more, solid and real, rather than the lightness of what you know. It's like, your reality is beyond this reality. And what I want you to do, if you're listening now too, if you're driving, don't shut your eyes. But if you can, it's like, shut your eyes. And what I want you to do is perceive the outside edges of you. And I'm not talking about your body. I'm talking about you. And it's like, where are you? if you perceive the energy of Australia, of where I am, and then perceive the energy of Denver, of where Marnie is, and then Paris or, Sweden, and it's like, what if you were everywhere? What if you as an infinite being were everywhere? It's like your body is here, and it's like, yes, your body is in that room or wherever it may be, but you as an infinite being exist everywhere. And this reality is so small. It's like if you look at this reality as like the size of, a football, and it's like, how many of you are trying to fit into this reality and you never fit? And it's like, rather than actually ask, what's my reality? If I wasn't functioning from the rules and regulations of this reality and the judgments of this reality, what would I create and what would I choose? Your reality is far greater. And yet you're always told you're wrong for creating what it is that you would like to create. This reality is about how right can you be? This reality is about how many times a day can you judge yourself? You've got to get the right education, the right job, the right relationship, the right marriage, the right kids, the right everything. That's this reality. What's your reality? Your reality is that you never have to be right, and you also never have to be wrong. So all the reference points you are using to create the rightness of your point of view and your realities, where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And the interesting thing is, it's like, how many judgments do you have to have of you and do you have to have in place to keep the rightness of your point of view, rather than go, you know what, I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to have anything show up. If you're willing to have anything show up and you continuously destroy and uncreate all of those reference points and those objectives, you'll be amazed at the adventure that you can actually create as your life and living.
I like that. And it's really,
I like that too.
Yeah. And everything you're saying is really what all of those things do. All of the things you've been saying, the processes and the reference points, it takes us out of the autopilot that this crazy idea that we figure it out, we get the right answer, and then we just set it on coast. We set it on autopilot, and that's somehow supposed to be life and living and business and creation, and it's not. So the willingness to let go of all of that and stop the autopilot and actually be in choice does create the adventure. Yeah.
So how many choices are available to you that you've not been, willing to receive because of all the reference points and objectives that you have in place, and everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreative. Yeah. Or right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And how much do we slow ourselves down? I'm another kids movie reference because I have a lot of those, but The Incredibles and Dash, the kid who runs really, 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 really fast. And the end of the first movie, it just makes me laugh every time because he's out for track and he's way faster than everyone on the track team. So his parents stand in the bleachers and they're trying to get him to go fast enough to win, but not too fast that he's blowing everyone else out of the water. So they're like, slow down, slow down, slow down. No, he's catching up. Go faster, go faster. No, he's catching up. Slow down, slow down. And I'm like, that has been my life, looking at, here's how fast I can go. Here's what I could create. Here's what would be fun for me. But then listening to the bleachers and the people in the bleachers telling me when to slow down, when to speed up, what's too fast and what's not fast enough. And using that to gauge what I allowed myself to choose and do and be and have, rather than just choosing to be me full out.
Yeah. And how many of you are creating that with your business and your money flows? You'll make just enough. I mean, the amount of people I hear that make just enough to pay the bills, rather than actually have too much money and never enough. And it's like, or you make just enough or a little bit more than that, like that race. And it's like, quickly, go a little bit more so that they're catching up. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, slow down, fast, slow down. And it's like, what if your business was created beyond this reality? What if your money flows were created beyond this reality? It's like, what would you choose? What would you create? And what would you change? Because the thing is, so much of this is also about the willingness to change anything that is required to change, whether it be people you work with, the direction you're heading. I mean, like the meeting that Marnie had this morning with someone else that we work with, going, okay, we don't have these systems in place. So what if we got to choose to get this into place? We haven't been down this road before, so let's create it. And also know that road may fork and it may go off into somewhere else and it may, turn into something completely different. But you have to keep choosing and changing to create a reality beyond this reality. So everywhere that you've been trying to create your business and your money flows based on this crap, limited, conclusionary reality, will you now please destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, I actually broke my ankle in Tahiti a couple of weeks ago. I jumped off a wharf. I was having fun and a few cocktails, jumped off a wharf into where we had been swimming, but the tide had gone down and I just didn't gauge it. As the doctor said, well, I'm glad you didn't dive because I probably wouldn't be here. But anyway, I jumped and I broke my ankle. So I broke my ankle and you're like, crap, damn, And then I'm like, okay, what's right about this I'm not getting? And I've literally been finding it like I would have to use a lot of energy to be, sad or upset about it or, whatever that is. What I'm finding is having a broken ankle, I have opened, and I'm not saying go out there and break your ankle, but the doors that have opened, because there is no reference points to this for me, the doors that have opened of my willingness to ask for help and receive contribution, ask for help and receive contribution, and keep going and keep going and keep going. And the demand in my world to go, okay, what else do I need to change? What's right about this I'm not getting? And I mean, one of the things is I have a class in Noosa. Well, it's not in Noosa anymore. Business Done Different, 3-day class. Super excited about it because I want to talk about all these reference points and objectives and something else too, symbiotic relationships that you have with business and money. So I want to talk about that. And we've got the Kickstart Your Business evening on the 23rd. Now, I went, okay, where's the venue? And I got everyone to find out, okay, can you check out the venue? I haven't been there before. It's like, is there steps? Is there an elevator? What does this look like? Because I've got this big boot on and I wasn't able to have any weight on it. I can now, but not a great deal. And they came back to me and said, it's 70 meters. And I don't know what that is in feet, Marnie, but that's a hell of a long way.
It's long, it's far.
Yeah, and I was like, 70 meters? And I was like, seriously, do they not have another way that I can get into the conference room? They rang and someone went up there and they were like, no, it's 70 meters walking. And I'm like, I can't do 70 meters. And I looked at the energy, right? And not from I can't, from conclusionary. I looked at the energy and what I desired to create with this class. Now, you can do this with your business. What do you want to create with your business? And I looked at the energy of what I desire to create with this class and what energy I know I can be for others to choose something greater as well. And I went, okay. So the thought of me getting ready in the morning, getting down our stairs at this house, because I had to go down on my butt the last couple of times, getting down, getting in the car, getting to the venue, having to walk 70 meters with crutches. I even thought about getting an office chair and someone could wheel me. And we thought about looking at wheelchairs and everything. And then I went, you know what? Let's do it at my house. I said, we need to come up with plan B, plan C. So plan B. And I said, we need to institute plan B. So now we're rearranging my whole entire house. So it's limited numbers that can show up live, but live stream is unlimited. Anyone can come on live stream and they get to ask questions and do all of that as well. So I noticed the energy just became this like palpable, enthusiastic energy for the changes that we can create in the world with business. But I wasn't willing to go, oh, okay, I can't do this. We have to cancel it. It was an option. It was like, there's got to be something else. So every time you hit that place where you go, it's like, this feels like a roadblock. Ask, okay, so what roadblock is here that's a reference point and objective that if I destroyed it could create something different and another possibility that I've not yet thought of. Everything at that is right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, and shorts, boys and beyonds. So there was a little bit of a story and a plug as well for my class. So if you want to know more about it, you can go to accessjoybusiness.com and you can check out Classes with Simone, and it's got the Kickstart Your Business, which is an evening class. It's in Queensland, Australia time, but you can jump on anywhere in the world. And then we've got the 3-day masterclass, which I'm super, super, super excited about. You get a manual, you get a whole bunch of stuff. And like I said, you can actually ask your questions in real time. You come onto Skype, you can show your face or not show your face. But I'm excited about it. And I want to really get down and dirty with all the places that you've decided that you cannot change your business or you cannot create something different. And you don't actually have to have a business to come either. And by the way, you don't have to have a joy of business. Someone said to me once, oh, I can't come on your classes because I don't have a joy of business. I don't have the prerequisite. And I was like, you don't have to have a joy of business. Hopefully that's what we create after a few days, So it's like there's, anything is possible. And also check out accessjoybusiness.com for all the other amazing Joy Business facilitators that have stuff available too.
And I would love to just add, because I have the privilege of working with Simone, and She has a joy and an ease and a playfulness and an amazing creative capacity with business. And working with her every single day, she just is it. She bees all of that all of the time. It's not like she gets up and facilitates these things and then doesn't function from that in the creation of all the things she's involved in. She totally does. So, and the other thing that she has an amazing capacity is wherever you're stopping you to just really get straight to boom, would you like to choose something else? So if you are asking for something else, you might want to consider that.
Thank you, Marnie.
Well, and I
have
you got to say too, I was going to say being on the Dazzle that works with the creation of the class, when she made the change to say, we're going to do this at home and just really make this a big live stream class, what she said, the energy of everything just opened up. And so it's so cool to see. It had been a little bit stagnant. It was like, what is this? What needs to change? What's required here? And then from asking questions and choosing something else, that spark of creation just took off. So it's really
and you've got to recognize that energy too, because it's interesting. Like Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, is in Jerusalem at the moment doing a class. And I was going to go, and I was booking, I book a zillion flights all the time. And every time I looked for this flight, I couldn't find something that could work. And I kept looking and looking and looking. And I was like, you know what? And I said to Gary, I don't think I'm going to come to Jerusalem. And he went, yeah, it's fine. He said, don't kill yourself over it, sort of thing. But now I get it. It's like I would have had to cancel it. And you don't know what the future holds. And it's like, and yet when something keeps showing up that you just can't sort of get in there, ask questions, but also say, is there a different possibility available here? Is something else going to be occurring that I need to take care of? Which in this instance is my body. And it's like, you know what? My body is my priority right now. So when I looked at that during that class and I went, that doesn't really match the energy of what I want to create. I want to be so available for everyone coming onto this class that we can change everything that anyone is willing to change. So let's make it easy. Ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory is the mantra of Access Consciousness. You can use that 10 times in the morning, 10 times at night, 10 times whenever the hell you want to do it, or 50,000 times. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. It's like, and it will start to open up doors of futures that you never knew existed, because you can't work everything out yourself. Remember that process I ran earlier about being out of control? Yep, that's it, out of control. So Marnie, do you have any classes coming up as well?
I have a business and money class coming up that I'm actually doing with Emily Russell, who's someone else who works with us in Joy of Business.
Yay.
And yeah, it's starting in January, and we're going to have a couple of like a 30-minute intro Zoom to give you a sneak peek into it, and Facebook Live and just a few things before then. So that's in January. And I'd have a foundation class, but that's in Spokane, Washington in like 3 days. So if you're in Spokane, Washington.
By the time this airs, you had a foundation class.
That's right. Yes, exactly. So, yes.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Marnie, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to me about reference points and objectives. And everyone out there listening, you know what, just take some of these tools. Even if you don't remember all of them, it's like, you can also put a request in to download the sheet we have from this, and we'll have the clearings, etc. on there. And if you want to know more about the clearing statement, go to theclearingstatement.com and check out accessjoybusiness.com. Find a Joy Business facilitator near you. And also my website, SimoneMilasas.com. And you can find Marnie on accessconsciousness.com, and it's Marnie Barranco, Barranco. So thank you for joining me, Marnie.
Thank you, Simone. It's always fun.
Thank you for creating with me. I love creating with you. Like,
yeah,
yes,
me too.
We actually just booked a Airbnb together for February, because I'll be in Houston, Texas, and I'll actually be doing another Kickstart Your Business and Business Done Different there, live streamed, and Foundation with Gary Douglas and Dane here, which would be amazing. And I was like, wow, 12 days in an apartment with Marnie. That's a lot of creation.
That's
and
a
decent amount of wine.
Yeah. So look out. Who knows what's going to show up after that?
Exactly. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.